evening, everybody. Um, we're going to start this evening with a budget hearing, so I'm not actually calling the meeting to order yet. That will happen after the budget hearing occurs. So we're going to start with our budget presentation and hearing. This is open for questions. So, and Mr. Rivenberg and Ms. Ross and maybe us, but probably them, can answer any questions that you have. But I will ask that everyone remember that those questions must be with regard to the budget, because this is the budget hearing, and that's what we're allowed to respond to. So we're gonna start that with Mr. Rivenberg.
Okay, everyone, welcome for the 2026-27 budget hearing. So first off, with our mission statement, a commitment to integrity, community, and instilling pride to prepare every student for success. Some of the goals that we had for the 26-27 budget were to maintain core academic and extracurricular programs without the spending spikes, to maintain our resources and opportunities for all students, and to remain under the tax cap while navigating the New York State budget. With our, of course, the New York State budget has not been passed yet, and they just put out another extender through tomorrow. So we had a lot of priorities to make sure that we plan for the opportunities that we provide for students and to continue without any cuts. So this is a look at the overview between the expenses and the revenue for the budget. So looking at the administrative, the capital, and the program, we'll dive into that in a little bit. And then the revenue side of the budget here. Almost 50% of the budget is made up of state aid, another large portion, the second largest portion being the property taxes, and then followed by some other revenues and fund balance and reserves that balance our budget. So total proposed budget expenditure for 26-27 will be $22,998,000. It's an increase of 11.18%, and we'll get into the specifics on why the budget is increasing a little over $2.3 million in just a moment. So this is the look at the three-part budget. We had talked about this in our work sessions. We did administrative, capital, and program each time that we had a work session. So you'll see on here that the program portion of the budget increasing just a little under 5%, $683,338. And then the administrative portion of the budget, which supports everything else, the inner workings and the operations of the district, under a 5% increase. And then the capital portion of the budget, which a majority of that increase is due to our ongoing capital project and our building debt that is tied to the Centennial project. First off, the administrative portion of the budget, you'll see that some of the largest couple increases are due to our school resource officer. So as a part of our partnership with Schenectady County, they were kind enough to support Duanesburg Schools with a second SRO in prior year and in current year. And in order to continue our program, a part of our agreement was that we would move forward and absorb another half of that second resource officer. So that's why we are seeing that large increase for the SRO program. And then insurance, if you look at many of the districts all around, they are also seeing this similar increase. Insurance rates are skyrocketing, and we have to budget for that increase. Capital portion of the budget, so the ban for construction increasing at $1,694,333. So that's why we're seeing that large increase on the budget to pay for the construction ban for our ongoing capital project. In conjunction with there's some other expenses here for bus bonds and for operations of plant. So the operations we had discussed during one of our sessions that we have to also replace aged equipment that is, we have an old Suburban that is aging out, and to replace that with a newer vehicle for plowing and maintenance of the transportation facility.
Mr.
Question,
Ravenberg,
Francis?
what is a ban in
It's
relation to a
a,
bond?
it's a short-term borrow for debt until you get to the point where you can borrow with a bond for your long-term. So the bond would be the long-term borrow.
Is there a large interest rate difference between a band and a borrow, since one's short term and one's longer term?
No, I mean, it depends on like the market at the time, but
Okay.
typically because you're borrowing a ban, unless the market really changes, the economy really changes from one point to another, typically I see that it kind of stays about the same
Okay.
or similar anyway. Tony? So in future years, we're going to see that our bond, so the bond for construction will continue to be a large budget line, but will be offset with the state aid, the building aid that comes with that.
So you're saying in the future that'll appear in 9711 and
Yeah.
turn down from there?
Yep.
Thank you.
Exactly. Program portion of the budget. So this is the large portion of the budget that supports everything that we have for kids, the opportunities that we have for kids. You can see that for students, you can see that there are some budget adjustments. As I had said in one of our work sessions, made some adjustments here for teacher lines. You'll see there's a reduction in the 2110 code and an increase in a 2250 code. It was due to a teacher that was not coded in the proper budget line. That was just adjusted and put in the proper budget line. And then again, the 2825 code, that's another instance where just adjusting the budget line due to a teacher code, just where they're getting paid out of, just needs to be in the proper code for what their certification is. And then health insurance, so we had discussed during work sessions that health insurance was going up 10%. I dove down into the budget just to make sure that we have enough in the budget. We did not need to increase the budget at the full 10%. We do have enough there to cover that 10%. So it's going up. We're going to see that increase in the health insurance, but also there's some money. There's enough funds in there to absorb that 10% increase for next year.
Jeff, I have a question on the insurance, on the administration though. It went up like $17,000, 20%. What's the difference between the two insurances?
Oh, so what you're seeing right in front of us here is health insurance. The other insurance is actually tied to the building, right? So anything, our buildings and grounds insurance, incident, anything is tied to everything else except for health insurance.
Kind of like homeowners insurance.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa, it's going super fast. What just happened? All right. So this is the proposed budget revenue side. So property taxes, state aid, other revenues, and fund balance. So just a few portions of, just a few sources of revenue in order to support the budget. So the thing that we don't have control over is state aid, and for the most part, other revenue. So in order to balance out the budget, we have to determine that you increase the property taxes at a fair value. So last year, we'd actually increased the property taxes at 3.2%. This year, we're going out with a less than 3% increase, a 2.9%. So then we balance out the budget with fund balance and reserves. So last year we actually had those one-hit wonders where we had an insurance settlement from a closing health insurance trust from the NEHIT trust that the district was a part of. That closed out, and we got some funds out of that. We also had a grant in kind that offset the fund balance, and then we also had underestimated the interest rates, which were through the roof last year. So we actually earned interest on invested funds. for last year. So that allows us to balance the budget for this year or for the 26-27 school year, knowing that amount is in the bank to continue and not have to make cuts.
Okay, quick question. Maybe I missed it. What is other revenue? 2.31%?
I
Assuming
will.
that's an income.
I'm actually going to show that on another slide. Let me just other revenue. So the other revenue includes interest on investments, tuition sources, interest and penalties on taxes, BOCES revenues such as the DL. So we actually earn money back from DL for if we have teachers that are teaching DL classes, we actually bill back BOCES for their time. Sale of excess materials. So when we take a bus and decide that we're going to auction it off, that would be the sale of excess of equipment. Insurance recoveries, and then other losses, Medicare Part D, and then BOCES, other year refunds. So there are some other things that we can invoice BOCES for. We also have coming on the charts this year is the one pilot that the district has with Oak Hill Solar, Oak Hill Solar. So that'd be the addition of the $16,250,000. Sorry about that, $16,250,000. Right. All right. So back to so state aid. So currently we are looking at a 1% increase on our foundation aid. We did pretty well with utilizing BOCES for our services to provide opportunities. So we are seeing a good increase on BOCES aid. So we'll continue to utilize BOCES for many of our expenses because it does actually help us to continue. It comes back the following year. So your expenditures this year will help in your BOCES aid for the following year. And then looking at that other large line there, the building aid is increasing at that $1.4 million to offset the debt on the building construction.
Jeff, I just have I know that it varies from service to service, but do you know on average what percentage of what we pay to BOCES do we get back the following year? Or what the range is?
It's like 53, right, Kim? What is it?
It's around 53%. And Jeff also referenced, so we get 53% of, it varies actually depending on what service you're getting, but it averages out at 53. I wanted to make sure. But Jeff had mentioned as other revenues, so he brushed over it with an example of distance learning. So if a teacher is teaching distance learning, we can bill back 20% of their salary.
Right.
And BOCES pays us, as well as we partake in Model Schools, which Model Schools offers free professional development, and it's actually a really cool opportunity for our folks. It's a lot of technology and drones and robots. I am the Model Schools representative, and by attending the meetings, a certain percentage of my salary is refunded by BOCES as well.
Yep. So I have a chart of different COSERs. So as we go through the COSERs, if we decide on a service, it's like, oh, what are we going to get? Are we going to get 46% or 46% on the dollar, or are we going to get 60? Some of them are up there pretty good, and then some of them are down a little bit lower than the 50%. But it just depends on the COSER and what the service is.
50 cents on the dollar is not too shabby.
It's not too shabby, right? But that's the average. It's like somewhere around 51 or 53%. So. The tax levy. So the proposed tax levy is 2.9%. That's an increase of $268,757, and this is provided for you as an example for what 2.9% may look like for a home value. So I just kind of created a chart that would help you to determine what it might look like. So these numbers could be slightly off depending on what your assessment values are, but this is just to get a ballpark, but 2.9% increase is what we're looking at for tax levy increase. And just to show our tax levy history, so we've notoriously stayed underneath the tax cap, and the tax cap this year was calculated at 2.93%. We went down and evened that out for a 2.9% increase. And then again, that we're coming out lower than we did last year at that 3.2. Other revenue, so I showed this already, so I'm going to skip that. Appropriated fund balance and reserves, so in order to balance the budget out, that there was a gap in the budget because we are not earning as much state aid in other categories other than the building aid. So we have to balance our budget out with our savings. So we're looking at balancing the budget out with the 1,396,365 in combination with appropriating a reserve fund for the ERS towards the budget, 150,000. So this would balance that gap and zero out any negative balance on the budget.
So Jeff, maybe just dive a little deeper, without going too deep about the ERS reserve and what is it for?
ERS reserve is for expenses just within the employee retirement system on the budget. So we have, those are large expenses, the retirement system, because it's a benefit. So ERS and TRS, so we also have a reserve fund for TRS. The ERS is the highest, the ERS reserve is actually our highest in our reserve funds. So it makes sense to utilize that amount for next year.
And even though ERS and TRS are retirement, the funds are for retirement, for payments within the folks who are in the ERS. They actually have discovered that TRS has been very stable in the last 5 to 10 years, predictable about percentage-wise. ERS has been all over the place.
It has.
And they haven't been able to successfully predict year to year. So when you look at the two reserve funds, because it's so unpredictable, you want to make sure that your ERS is well funded so that if it's an unanticipated amount throughout the school year, that we have the funds to cover it.
So this is a look at the summary of what we are adjusting in the budget this year. We have increased by adding a school monitor for the high school to assist in serving with a hall monitor and in-school suspension. An increase in a special education teacher to provide an 812 class. This actually provides the district a lot of savings instead of sending kids out to other placements. We have several kids that will benefit from this program. Transportation efficiency, we're expanding the transportation budget a little bit to restructure and create a mechanics helper and / bus driver. We need bus drivers, but to address our fleet maintenance and route coverage. So that would make that person full time because we do have runs for that person to do, and also it's kind of tough for one person to be maintaining a garage and doing wheel pulls by themselves. So maintenance equipment to provide that 1-ton pickup truck with a plow, no salter, just for field work, and this will replace that older 2009 Suburban. So we've got a pretty rusty Suburban that's been in service for quite some time. So it's time to send that one on its way. Part-time cleaner to a full-time position. This will also help in the elementary school and in the bus, in the transportation department office. We have expanded our transportation office size a little bit so that person would be able to go from the elementary school to the transportation garage and make that person a full-time position. We also absorbed, as I had said in a previous slide, health insurance increases at 10%, utilizing about 5% on the health insurance increase, and then our contractual obligations for existing staffing. Whoa. Sorry about that, my button is sticky. Benefits are, budget challenges this year, seeing the increase on the health insurance. Operating costs, utility costs, and fuel are skyrocketing right now. It's kind of hard to project where the fuel costs are if they're gonna come down and when. So we need to be prepared for that. Our general liability insurance, that's the word I was looking for, liability insurance, and supplies and contractual items. Salaries, we continue to increase on our salary contracts and remain competitive in the region. And then the other challenge has been the budget not being finalized. We really are running with our state aid numbers that were based on our most latest runs. We typically will have our state aid runs by now at this point, and especially when we do our budget hearing, you know what you're going to get. So when we finally do get our state aid numbers, that will change potentially how much fund balance we actually have to do into the budget. So we would be able to subtract some of the savings out of there and balance that out.
And as we mentioned in previous budget workshops, we are assured that we won't receive less.
Correct, right.
Right, they are actually trying to fight for more. So that, the 1% we're receiving, there won't be anything less.
Right. So what happens if the school budget is defeated? The board has the opportunity to do a budget revote or a contingency budget. If it gets defeated a second time, it would go into contingency budget. Cuts would be considered, including instructional staff, busing for UPK. Could also be considered extracurricular clubs, athletics, and field trips. The tax levy remains the same as it currently is for the current year, and then no equipment purchases. Public use of the building for outside groups and organizations would have to pay for the full usage fees to cover any expenses, including air conditioning, heating, and electric, and no rental of office equipment, which we currently do not rent office equipment. The other proposition on the ballot this year is the school bus purchase bond proposition. The proposition will be to borrow a maximum of $325,000 to purchase 2 school buses. Looking at a larger school bus, a 65 or 71 passenger, this is a majority of what you see on our fleets. And then also a 30 passenger which is used primarily for our city runs outplacements for any of the kids like going to BOCES programs or private schools.
Quick question. Are we locked in on fuel for next year to run the buses? Is that something we do here in this district? Or is that just something we do per annual?
We do utilize the state contract pricing, but there has been times when the state will come out and say we had to renegotiate our contract costs mid-year. I've seen that happen too, but yeah, we utilize the majority, the bidded cost that comes from the state.
Yeah, because we've been here before in COVID, and when fuel
Yes.
costs went up.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was there a contingency to sort of aid that, just in case we are renegotiated by the state? Obviously, it's not capped.
So, in short answer, I guess I could say no, but your budget, you would have to. Right now, we've planned for an increase, larger than 2 or 3% in our fuel costs. We would have to either look at adding more to the budget from our savings, or finding ways we can cut mid-year from other budget items within the budget to balance that out. So I know that there was years ago, I think it was 2012, is that when we saw the large increase? And it was, the district, I remember hearing about the district looking for other ways they could cut things to try and pay the bills for fuel. So
Now, does the state, do they advise community members independently of the school? Do they email, or is this something that it's dependent on the district to let the community know that the budget increases due to the state contract has been renegotiated?
if that would be on us to communicate that. It may go up just a few cents. It may go up $1. So it may be it may be you know, if it becomes a challenge, yeah, we could communicate that and make sure that everybody knows that that's the case. But we'll continue to monitor the situation. And
These buses you're looking to purchase this year will most likely be gasoline or propane?
yes, gasoline. Yeah, gasoline this time. Yep. And this will likely be the last year that we are allowed to do that, because the mandate for the electric bus is still, they're pressing on it. So
Working through the waiver process. Ray, just to circle back to your question, just so you know, that say gas prices rise astronomically. I actually saw a piece on the news today about districts estimating if it continues to rise, because I think it's rose $2 in the last 3 months.
yeah,
For us to touch any of our reserves, the board has to do a resolution.
right.
So it would be very public knowledge that, like, hey, we're really hurting with fuel costs, and for us to tap into any of that savings, the board would have to vote on it.
Clarifying, because I think it's important that we include the community
Right.
and things like this. And it doesn't look like there's going to be any sort of lowering of gas costs in the near future. So this is something that I think that we have to be cognizant of.
Yeah, and I think Jeff, when he was building the budget, was aware of that. He's pretty on top of what the trends are happening, and through his School Business Official Association called ASBO, as well as working, he has monthly meetings at BOCES. And correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sure that when all the business officials meet, they talk about how they're anticipating fuel costs in the next coming year.
Yep, absolutely. So I also provided a little example of what it looks like for borrowing for school buses. So the debt, again, for school buses is also offset, just like building aid. A little bit different rate than the building aid, but it's 72.2% right now. So if you borrow 295,000, New York State would actually pay $213,000 back. So that's where we see the transportation aid come back in on our state aid runs. So the district over 5 years would only have to pay that a little over $82,000. So it's when we buy buses and we take out, so they're 5-year, we borrow for 5 years for the school buses at this time, and so that's how you get your aid back.
And your goal is to keep a bus for, I believe you said previously, 10 years?
Yep. So we hold on to buses for 10 years. At about the 10-year mark, then between 8 and 10 years, we typically will see the buses are really starting to rust out, and because there's so many strict laws on school buses with DOT, it's hard to pass a rusty school bus on a DOT inspection. So while cars will typically, you can go down the road with a rusty car, it's very difficult to be able to pass that with DOT regulations for their school bus. So that's why we have to, when we get to that point of that 10 years, we have to auction them off or trade them in.
But we've certainly seen this year that our buses need to be healthy and well since we had that accident on
Right.
7.
Right.
That
And
was-
when that did happen, we actually had a couple buses in the shop at the time getting repaired, had a bus that got totaled. We had no spare buses at the time, so we have to make sure that we maintain our fleet so that, because if you do your pre-trip on a bus and you got a couple lights out, it fails, you have to go grab a spare bus. That bus gets pulled off the line and has to be repaired. So it could be as simple as a fuse, or it could be a mice. Like we had mice chewing on wires. There's a lot more stricter rules on that. So in summary, for the budget, $22,998,000. That's a budget-to-budget increase of $2,312,000, or 11.8% or 11.18%. Tax levy increase at $268,758, or 2.9%. That brings our tax levy to $9,536,232. Budget vote will be on Tuesday, May 19th. And just to talk about the questions about debt. thing's bouncing around again. So I wanted to show this example here on the right and show also, so our funding for this year, or for 26, 27, our foundation aid right now with our projections, 1% increase, which only adds $54,485 or $485 in creates a gap in funding. So we have to determine where you're going to fund the rest of the budget, because the budget's not increasing at just $54,000. Budget increases not part of debt service, I want to point this out, is $904,867. So it's not, so the budget to budget increase that, the increase that's large is not just due to increases in contractual items or in staffing or in programs. It's also due to that debt service. State aid increases for the budget that are not part of debt service is actually fairly well, because we utilized BOCES. So you saw that a large portion of that increase was BOCES. So it's $293,911. So showing this example here, I just wanted to point out the expenses side and the revenue side. So I drew these little icons here to show that the program side of the budget, you'll see that the expenses increases, and then the revenue side increases slightly less than the expenses side. So there's that gap in funding. So that's why our fund balance and reserve amount, we increase that going into next year. When it comes to the debt service, because we're increasing, because we are spending for our capital project as aided at about 79.8%, you'll see our revenue side goes up very close to what our expenses side goes up on our building debt. So the aid that comes in for that large portion of that increase is almost equivalent, slightly shy of it. And then building debt, so that building debt increase is total, the $1.4 million, and then increasing the aid is $1,408,126. So this is a little graphic. Kim.
When we talk about building the budget and the budget hearing, and there's a lot of terminology and a lot of coming and goings of revenue and expenses, and to really understand it, a question that comes up a lot is, and I've heard people have asked, is the band to a bond and the capital project, and why we have a sharp increase in building aid, but our band/bond payment is higher. So the best way, created this little graphic to kind of explain the flow of funds. So many, many, many moons ago, every district in New York State probably took out their first band, which a band becomes a bond, to help make restorations or renovations. And as that bond matures, meaning it gets paid off, it is in the best interest of the communities to take out another band/bond based on, it's called the Building Condition Survey. So New York State Education Department requires every 5 years architects to go through every school district building and identify areas that need renovations or any type of, well, we can't say repairs, but renovations or replacements or renewals. And in that, they'll say the roof is going to need to be replaced in 5 years or 10 years, or the door hardware is not to code, et cetera, et cetera. So we have no say in it. They submit it to the state, and then we are required to maintain a safe learning environment. We have to do those restorations. So what happens with the cycle of bands and bonds is, as you take a band or a bond out, it helps you maintain the safety of the building per New York State Education Department, what's outlined in the Building Condition Survey. And then as you start paying that debt off, then it becomes a cycle. So I always like to say you're renewing the band and bond. It's almost like refilling it so that we can continue to be compliant with what is required with state ed. lots of times when, not intentionally, so say we are mandated to fix some HVAC system in a room and we have to renovate it, meaning, there's a demo involved in it, code changes every year. So if we're renovating a room and code has changed on something, say the outlets or the lighting, then we're required, even though it's not in the building condition survey, we're required, because we're disturbing it, we have to renovate that as well. So what you'll see is happen in an effort to maintain our safe learning environment with state ed and maintain our facilities, as we do a band, we begin the renovations, these required repairs and upgrades. If we don't renew the bond, say we let it mature and fall off, then it's actually going to sink the tax levy, in which in 2 to 3 years, when we're required to spend $200,000 on a roof or $2 million on roofs, because we love that we have to do roofs, we have to spend $2 million on roofs, we would have to go out to the taxpayers and increase taxes so significantly beyond the tax cap. So this keeps that flow going for us and to maintain the building. And right now, for us, we get 79.8% return rate on any bond. So what you're seeing in this year's upcoming budget is it looks like we have a really large increase in our budget. That will level off. It's because we're getting a really large increase in building aid to start paying off phase 1 and phase 2. So it is a cycle that districts have been doing for decades. And not just schools, municipalities do the same. So if you have a public library or a public hospital or a town hall, by for lack of words, renewing that bond when it starts maturing allows you to make sure that you are, one, keeping to code, we're in compliance with our building condition survey per New York State Education Department, and we make sure we keep our tax levy stable. How'd I do?
Good. Oops.
Did you turn it off?
I don't know what just happened. Go back.
It's just a reminder, I think, the dates, right? Your last slide. Uh-oh.
There we go. Okay. Must have let it sit too long. Okay. So this is showing the current debt service on the left-hand side. So Mike, now I know what you're talking about with font size. So the current debt service on the left-hand side, and then with our in the future debt service, so you can see the total debt the total debt service goes up with the estimated building aid. So the estimated building aid is in the yellow, the debt service is in the purple, and then the net local share of the actual capital project is way down on the bottom there, that blue section. So with the actual debt for the capital project, you see that the line for building aid stays right along with it, and supports that ban or bond for the capital project. So tonight, our budget public hearing, and then this completes our budget cycle, and then our budget vote will be on May 19th. On the budget vote, what to expect? You can expect the proposition to approve the 26-27 school year budget, the proposition for school buses, including debt that's tied to that, and then the two Board of Education positions. And the May 19th will be the budget vote at the Duanesburg Transportation Office, the new office at 9225 Duanesburg Road, will be from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m.
I just want to interject a little bit. So we really considered where the best location is for the budget vote. Here is a challenge. Having it in this building is a challenge because the ramp, we do have ADA ramp, but it's long and it's arduous. having it over at the elementary school requires us to do early dismissal, which impacts the instructional day. And then we thought about the transportation center, especially with the capital project going on, and it is beautiful. I was over there today. It's flat, it's easy to be accessible. We can just move the buses outside for temporarily. And it gives an opportunity for the community to see one of our new facilities renovated. So I know it seems unusual, but, and you have to have your budget vote on campus, on one of your campuses. We couldn't go to DVAC. We actually thought, oh, what if we did it at DVAC? We're required by law to have it within one of our facilities. So we're excited. They're putting the final touches on the transportation center. This should be done this week. And this will be the opportunity for folks to come in and see how beautiful it looks.
Also, I just want to make a point. I noticed that the windows were not, they were uncovered, so people can look in the windows and see what we're doing in the cafeteria. Yeah,
Yes.
right. So I'm assuming that was done so that people that have questions, that they can just go and look at our progress.
I think it was done because the windows were put in.
The windows
Okay.
were put in.
The
yeah.
windows actually
Right.
got put in. They're-
Yeah, because
were
Big
put in.
there's been a lot of questions on the
Windows.
progress, and I'm thinking this is pretty cool.
Yeah,
We can just
so
look
they
in.
were boarded up. Now we have windows. We're working through the final stages for the flooring. And I mean, people can peek in. They're going to see it is coming along. Hopefully with it completely, the timeline is at some point this summer, the cafeteria will be renovated, ready for September.
Those windows have been closed since at least the 60s. So it's a completely new space, essentially.
Oh, it looks good.
Harkening back to when that was the gym.
They don't open up though.
It'll bring a lot of light to that room. It'll be
Natural
really
light,
nice. Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.
Welcome.
So at this point, if the board doesn't have any more, of course, the board can ask questions throughout, but can we open it to the community if there are questions for you? Are we gonna move around with a microphone? How do we?
I can do that.
Okay,
I'll be the Vanna.
thank you.
Got it. All right, thanks, Declan. He's so helpful.
Perfect, thank you. Hey, Jeff, can you just pull up the bus purchase part of it? So I'm Dana Misek with 146 Newton Street. Just to give you some history about me, I'm 36 years in the food distribution business. Big part of food distribution is trucking. So I'm very familiar on cost and what life should be. So I think it would help the community. One, I'm used to frozen trucks. I do ice cream and dairy. So I have two motors I got to make sure run at the same time and run well. So if one's not running right, we're not running that truck. So I get that. My question is for you is everything I've looked up on buses is it's a 12 to a 15-year fleet life. And I heard tonight you said 8 to 10. So I'm wondering why that's so different for our district, number one. Number two, what is the average mileage on our fleet now? Because everything I've read so far, just like trucking for me, it's usually about 250,000 miles on a bus or a truck you should be able to get for the life of the vehicle. So I think it would help the community if we knew those answers before we voted. So if you don't have it tonight, obviously you can email it to me or something like that, and then we can at least let people know. But I know we're getting state dollars, which is still tax dollars that we're paying for. So it ain't like it's cutting us any breaks. So I'd like to know that, and I think the community would like to know that. So that's my question.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question, Dana. I don't know if you're prepared.
Yeah, so we typically will target the 10-year mark for the buses, and it's because we do see that the buses will be hard to pass DOT inspection. Again, going back to the strict rules on DOT, either the frame starts to rot out or there's all of the things that have to be inspected on the bus are starting to fail. And when it comes to the mileage, it's also the years of how many times it's been on the road, especially during the winter. So our buses will take a beating on some of the roads that we have, and I'm not sure where you got the 12 to 15, but originally when the state came out with their assumption of the electric buses, for instance. They said that buses should be 15 years, and we can't seem to pass DOT inspections up to 15 years because we know that they won't pass them after that 10 or 11-year mark.
Well, I'm very familiar with the DOT because we get pulled over all the time with straight trucks.
Sure.
So I'm familiar with that. My question is, though, how do you not know what our average fleet mileage is? It's got to be more than just because it's winter. We don't run all summer. So are they averaging 20,000 miles a year? And we've had them for 10 years. So at that point, you're talking, 200,000. Are we doing 10,000 miles? I just think the community should know that.
Okay.
Because this is a big purchase.
Are you asking per bus, or are you asking per run? Or
Average fleet, like what's on your, so you're gonna have some, it could be at 30,000 miles, you could have some at 10. You break it down, divide it out, you're talking 20,000 miles, that type of thing. I know it's rough mileage, I know with the amount of running around, you're going into Albany and dropping people off at other schools and the BOE programs, things, I get all that. But it's just not clear, that's all.
Okay, so Kim, we'll set up a Q&A on our budget, on a budget page
Perfect.
on the website.
Yeah, so we'll put it on the Q&A, and then just to chime in a little bit, so like our Suburbans get a little bit longer life because they're more of a road vehicle. And for some buses that can get close to 15 years, I'm curious if it's like the smaller suburban districts where they're not covering the mileage that we do. What is our square mileage for?
It is 59.8 square miles.
Square miles, right. So more of the suburban districts don't have to, there's some districts in Long Island that are 2 square miles, right? They don't have to go very far, but
Right.
we,
Inner city driving, though, is worse.
is it harder on a vehicle?
The wear and tear is much more.
Right. So what we can do is, I think, even just to frame it even better, we probably should look at the size of the fleet. So some of our buses that do, the bigger buses probably cover more of the country roads as opposed to the smaller fleets go into Albany. So,
Direct interstate and
yeah, give us a couple days.
Absolutely.
And
Listen,
we'll-
you could be legitimate, but I just think we need to know it before we vote.
Sure.
That's the
Yeah.
information that seems to be, with the line budgeting that you're doing, it should be a little bit more, the whole line.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm only picking this line because you can hit on 50 of them. We don't have time for that. I chose this one, Plus, it's my background, so I'm pretty familiar with it.
Okay.
Perfect. Thanks, Dana.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay.
Any other questions from the board before we move to our meeting?
I'll make one statement. For years, I sat on the other side of this when these presentations were being given. And one thing I can say to members of the audience is that, a question that commonly comes up is, why are we, Kim mentioned at one time, why are we rolling bans into bonds repeatedly into the future? One of the reasons that drives that is it is the architects that go and do the building survey identify things that break in a building and that you have to replace. It is the building that consumes that cash at a constant rate. Like the things break at a predictable known rate, and our ability to not fix those things doesn't save us any money. So it might appear as if we have that option, but to not invest in those repairs only kicks that can further into the future. So it's important. I just wanted to highlight that for everybody because no one did that for me when I was sitting in the audience years ago, to understand that it's the building that's consuming that at a constant rate, and that this is a structured way of keeping up with that and maintaining a safe learning environment for everyone.
Anybody else? Okay. All right. One last call. No more questions in the audience? Okay. All right. Thank you, Jeff, for that overview. Appreciate it's a lot of work, and to distill it into manageable and digestible pieces is not an easy task. So thank you for all of that. So with that, I'm going to call our our actual meeting to order at 7:21 p.m., beginning with the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. As we always do, we like to recognize students and employees and community members who are doing phenomenal things. This week, we've had 3 meetings in the last 3 weeks, so there's not a long list because we've been recognizing folks for weeks in a row. But I hope everyone was able to attend the high school concert on Thursday. It was phenomenal. It was really fun. The students clearly put in a lot of time and effort into their pieces, and it showed with their performances. There was a super unique one. I'm still not sure how I felt about it, but it was interesting. But what I took from that performance was Mr. Hopkins' comment that he'd been wanting to perform that for quite some time and felt that this was the band that could handle it. And that, to me, said a lot about our students and their commitment to their instruments and their participation in music. So great job to them. Not on the list, but I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to open some photos here so I can read some things to you all. This week is Teacher Appreciation Week. And we at Duanesburg actually expand that to be District Appreciation Week, and we try to highlight different departments within our district over the course of the 5-day week. So a shout out and a thank you to the Duanesburg Community PTA, which provides lunches and breakfasts for each of our departments over the course of the week. But most importantly, thank you to all of our employees and staff that keep our district running and functioning every single day. One of the things I had the pleasure of putting up earlier today, there's a wall display in each building that has a banner that reads, "You made the difference when." And in the high school, I haven't gotten to see it. Maybe, Lucy, you can let me know. Are there Post-its? Are Post-its filling the wall? Fantastic. So in the junior, senior high school, I left some Post-its for students to write about their teachers and post it on the wall so when folks walk by. I sent home these notes to students at the elementary school. I put up about 130 today, and I thought I'd share a few of them with you because when it comes to all of these things, when we're talking about the dollars and cents, it's this that we're doing it for. It's these students that we're doing it for. It's our educators in these buildings who are teaching our kids every day. So just as by way of example, we had Ms. Lavarge. You comforted me when I was upset. Mr. Rivenberg, you helped me with the bus. Miss Nags, you made the difference when we were outside and we asked her to swing and she did. P.S. She is so fun. Couple more. Ms. Lorette, she helped me with a math equation. Mrs. Lamb made a difference when she took us out early for recess and she made the class happy. So if you have the opportunity to swing by the elementary school and see the thus far 130, I expect there will be more. I ran out of space. It's going to take over the whole wall. That's why we're here. We're here for all of those students who appreciate their staff. Mr. Bill got a lot of shout outs too at the elementary school. I don't think I've met Mr. Bill, but everybody seems to really appreciate his work at the elementary school. So anyway, thank you to everyone that keeps our district running. We appreciate you. So I'm gonna clap.
Do you know how long that'll be up?
Say again?
Do you know how long that'll be up?
as long as they'll let me have it up. I hope not to take it down right away. I'm hoping it will stay for, a couple of weeks. And then my intention is to take them all down and put them in an envelope and give them to each teacher so they have them to read when they have a day when maybe they need to remember that their kids appreciate them. Okay. Next is agenda changes and our approval for this evening's agenda. So I know we do have a couple of agenda changes, right, Serena? Should I read them, or yeah, I guess I can read them. So one is that we are taking out item 4.01, which was the elementary school extended art, because Mrs. Chauvin was unable to present this evening after all. And I think also Miss T is not feeling well, but we have a student representative for high school art, right? All right, thank you, Lucy. Our ex officio student board members report is being 86'd from here as well, item 5.01. They are both at a track meet in Galway this evening, so they're not here. And then financials, item 8.05 and 8.06 are removed from that from that list of financial items as well. Okay, so all that being said, be it resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education approves the agenda for the regular meeting with budget hearing this evening, May 5th, 2026. May I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you, Francis. A second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ray. Comments or questions with regard to the agenda change? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. I'm very much looking forward to reports this evening. Oh no, I'm skipping things. I have to do the rest. Okay. Next is our Board of Education minutes. Be it resolved, based upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education approves the minutes of the regular meeting and BOCE's vote on April 29th, 2026. May I have a motion? Thank you, Alyssa. A second? Thank you, Tony. Comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, now we're going to move on to our presentations, and we are starting with Art Club for the high school with Miss Lucy McTiernan.
Hello again, everyone. I'm back for, I think, the third time. 3 times, 3 weeks.
You're
First
a
of
regular
all,
Jen Patino.
what?
You're a regular Jen Patino.
Exactly. Hi, Jen. First of all, happy Teacher Appreciation Week. I appreciate everyone in this building. I appreciate everyone that comes here, that attends the board meetings, and everyone that helps make our district run. With that, this is Art Club, so sorry, I'm a little bit ill prepared because this was kind of short notice.
The fact that you're here at all and doing this for us is fantastic, Lucy. So take your time and don't feel that it has to be perfect.
Thank you. Right, so the activities we do in Art Club, it's a lot of what you want to do as long as it's artsy. Lots of crafting, help on like extra art that we do. During the holidays, we did a Secret Santa art exchange, which that was super fun. And it's just these fun things that we get that sometimes you don't get to do during normal art periods. So you can come to Art Club, and it's a safe space, it's a great community, and you can just have a lot of fun creating things. Miss T would like me to mention the children yearn for crafts. So our goals. We would like to increase club membership. We do have a lot of members. Well, I say a lot, but it's not. We would like to increase that number. We do have many people that come every Tuesday, but it'd be so much better if we could have more people attend. I think just to have those people and let them have a community and have a great space to craft, that'd be great. Another goal that we have is like this. It's this thing called Art Fight. It's not an actual fight, don't worry. Where it's kind of a tricky concept to explain, but I'll try my best. where you have art and other people draw it, and it's this whole fun thing. And so one of the goals would be to do something like that, where it's like just another one of those art games that we like to play.
Is it a competition, Lucy?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like an art game. Sorry, I went over this once, so I'm a little all over the place. And another goal we'd like to have is more community involvement. So me and Miss T were discussing like maybe some sort of mural. That would be fantastic. I love painting, so I would be on board with that. Oh, this is explaining art fight. Great. Yeah, so art fight is a lighthearted game, and it's like an art exchange. That's the word. So create characters, and then you draw gifts for each other, and you earn points when you draw those characters. So everyone wins in the end. It's very lighthearted. It's very fun, but it's just another thing that we should do at art club. Oh, okay. Another goal is okay. We still want to increase membership, so art club we do have members, but the problem with art club is that it overlaps with a lot of other clubs like drama club. That was one of the main issues. Is it's not like the club that's prioritized, it's more drama clubs. So in the upcoming year, she would like to reschedule the clubs so there's less conflicts, and she was thinking of more advertisement to increase membership. So she was thinking some sort of pamphlet or flyers, and I know we've done that in the past, and that actually has increased membership, so we're going to probably do that again. And community. So with the capital project, it's giving us a lot of new wall space. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Pretty great for a mural, if you ask me. So it would be another thing to get the community together, to get a bunch of students together and paint a mural. I think that would be a wonderful thing. And just the collaborative aspect of it is so great. So if she gets approval for this, we would have input from everyone to see what they would like. And I think that is the end.
Thank you, Lucy. Does anybody have any questions for? That was fantastic on the fly. Well done,
Thank you.
No questions? You're off the hook.
Great.
Okay, next up we have the elementary school yearbook, and the advisor there is Mrs. Veglia, and I see she has a representative with her.
Hello, hello. Jenna Veglia. I'm a reading interventionist for the elementary school, but I am also yearbook advisor. So I talked last year about the initiatives of the yearbook, which is mostly just to include as many keystone events from the year as possible. But I wanted to bring last year's along because the last time I was here for this, you actually all had an opportunity to vote for the cover, and the overwhelming majority of you did vote for this artist. This is my friend Luca. He won. So I don't know how well you can see it from back there, but I am going to pass it around to you guys to make sure you have eyes on it as well. Unfortunately, I do need that back. I had a copy for you in the library somewhere. Once those boxes are unpacked, you can absolutely have one. But Luca is a member of our school community, as well as 2 siblings in the building and one who's just not quite tall enough yet. He'll be here soon. But Luca is an inspiring artist, and he is going to share his experience with you becoming the winner of the yearbook cover contest.
So the way you win is practically I won because I drew sketches at first. I found the idea. I drew like what I wanted to draw, what I didn't want to draw. Once I found everything I wanted to draw, I put it into one big picture. And if I did not like the picture, I'd redo it in a different arrangement. Each time I did that, I found it to be better and better. And once you finish it, you could draw it, color it in with anything, markers, crayons, pencils. And I chose markers, which was pretty good, but my siblings apparently take the markers, use them to draw, puts them back without the caps. So I had to use so many different colors, but on the bark, I decided to use different colors because I figured out I was like trees. I looked at pictures and trees and stuff of like what they look like, and it looked like I realized that a tree wasn't one color; it was many other colors. And when I won, I felt very proud and excited that I won. And when you win, you get your drawing on the yearbook cover, but also you also get $50. And the words who I want to give to like the next person that wins or somebody is try hard and don't give your dreams up.
I just have a question for Luca. I'm an art teacher in another school, and sometimes we have to change our supplies. When you found out that your markers were dried up, how did you compensate to still get a beautiful and a balanced
So
picture?
I would, instead of just like my siblings will leave it open, sure, it will dry. And I wasn't using one-sided markers, I was using double-sided markers. So every time that would go out, I would switch the marker, draw on the other side. Once that went out, I would either get a different color or just press harder. And and I made a big mistake with pressing harder. Never make that mistake.
I call those mistakes in art creative mistakes and happy accidents, kind of like Bob Ross. Yeah. So, but also you can use other materials like colored pencils with marker.
Yeah, at, I was going like through all the colors. Like I went at my school, not at my house, because if you ask my parents this, they're gonna say, "What? You just went through with markers?" I went through. I brought my markers to school. I went through with crayons, and I like had to press hard, and that would either break the crayons or stuff, and I kept breaking them and breaking them. And I used colored pencils, and I used colored pencils. They were really good at shading and stuff, but I realized that I was really good with markers once I tried using that. And once I used it, I figured out that I was really, really good. And so when I went to go home, I did it, but it was a very hard achievement. Very hard.
Luca, I want to just say that I really appreciate all of the details in your letters for DES. You can't see them. There's a section about math, there's a piano keyboard, there's a ruler, there's a paintbrush, a crayon, some books, and a pencil, and I thought that was just really, really creative, and you captured all the different parts of being at our school, and I really, really like that. So thank you for that. Thank you, Mrs. Veglia, and thank you, Luca. All right, next up we have the high school yearbook.
You guys got a tough act to follow.
Should also have mentioned that the advisor is Mrs. DeMarco.
I'll go first. Hi, I'm Paige. This is Harley. This is Jen, but you guys know Jen because she lives here basically. So this will be a tough act to follow, apparently, after that cute little presentation. But yeah, we're the high school yearbook, a little taller. Well, maybe not me than like the elementary school yearbook. But so okay. So here's our attempt at getting a picture of everyone together at the same time. Not an easy accomplishment. I'm Paige. Jen, apparently I'm the secretary. Jen is president. Edith is the vice president, and Evelyn is the treasurer. Which I think only two of us, our names are on there. It's hard to get everyone together like now, especially with AP testing and BOCES. Everyone's kind of in and out of the cafeteria. Well, Joe Benna, so. Okay, someone else can do it.
I got this one. Hey guys. So our overall overview of your book club is that we're a vibrant group dedicated to capturing school memories and experiences. So basically every Wednesday we get together after school and we're there usually for like half an hour-ish, maybe a little bit more. And we just work on yearbook. That's really all we do in our club. But it's really fun. And this year was really nice because we got to use Canva instead of tree ring. So now we're doing everything on Canva. That's a little scary because it's something new. You know what I mean? Like we're not sure we hope things are going to print out correctly and everything. But I'm excited to see it because it's like a little scrapbook theme. I think it'll be cute. Oh, did we skip one? Oh, okay.
Okay, so as Jen said, this year our theme is scrapbook as voted on by all the current seniors. So every year, like the senior class, it's kind of like their goodbye, like their yearbook, so they get to vote on it. This is what the cover will be looking like for the yearbook this year. And we had an account for the sixth graders coming up this year, so then we got to add their pages into it, add more people into our yearbook. So that was kind of cool to add a whole new grade level, make our book a little bit more diverse between the grades, the clubs, all the new activities being brought to the school.
So next year, our goals are to get a more diverse student body to join the club. We were taking a picture and we were just laughing because like it was just girls, like it was just us. So we were just laughing about that. But yeah, and getting more people in there and possibly hiring like a photographer to attend games and events because I know sometimes it's kind of hard to get like pictures for everyone. Sometimes like we're doing our spreads and we're like, oh shoot, we don't have pictures of these people. So we have to work out that. And also like with the clubs, like it is better and it is helpful, I think, to like do the club pictures, like how we've been doing it, but still like obviously some people are able to make it because of BOCES and other things. And then also we want to figure out a way to work around sports so more people can attend meetings because like having them right after school, obviously sports are every day after school, so it can be a little hard for people to attend.
Oh, so we're recruiting. If you are interested in purchasing a yearbook, please use the QR code below. Oh yeah, this is our fall pep rally. I know student council, which we're both on, we host a pep rally for like each of the sporting seasons, so fall, spring, and winter. This is just our fall one, and because our theme is scrapbook, if you can see the vision, every page is different and unique, but this is like the general, like if you like, it's very scrapbook. But yeah. Does anyone have any questions about your book?
Yeah, I have a question. On the yearbook cover, what does Dusquinox mean? I don't know. I don't know.
I'll take
Yeah,
it.
Mr.
I'll
Spore, why don't
take
you
it.
take
No,
that?
you should take this, but I want to know if they know. Do they know?
They don't.
No,
All
we
right.
don't know what it means. We were told we had to put it on our covers.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. What does it mean, Tony?
As an advisor for the yearbook for a million years, and you guys have it really easy now, just drag and drop,
Yes,
and
they
that's
do.
it.
Yes.
Dusquinox is a combination of Duanesburg, Quaker Street, and Knox, and those are the towns that were, I guess, in the very beginning, because that's the name it's been for.
Kind of like
Ever.
Mohonasen? Is that the other
I don't
district
know.
that was it Mohonasen? What's the one down the road?
The book is named
Shalma.
after Dwaynesburg Central.
Yeah. It's an amalgam. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Wait, so was that like the name of the school?
No,
Dusquinox, or just
no,
like...
this used to be Delanson High School.
Yeah.
Years and years and years ago, and then now that was just the towns
No, Shelmont.
Native.
I'm thinking
Oh,
of
the
Shelmont.
towns that were part.
Shelmont,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, I see. Okay. Oh, cool. Thank you. We were wondering
Now
that.
there's one little boy that runs around with a camera for everything. He's not a photographer for yearbook.
Oh, do you mean Gavin?
Yes,
Mensing?
I do.
Oh, he will charge us a lot of money for those pictures. He's a little hustler. I can't lie. But like, you know, you gotta make the bank, so I don't blame him. Maybe we'll recruit him because you have to be in high school to be in yearbook. So, and he's in middle school. So next year, Yeah.
Next year.
we have our eyes out for him.
Well, we do have our own camera too that the kids will use to go around and take pictures.
That was
Just
my question
sometimes-
is so it's members of the yearbook club that are taking all these photos.
Yes,
That's awesome.
yes.
That's a lot of work.
And some of them we get them from like iSmile but to get to all the sporting events, it's really, really hard. So that's why we were thinking, I know other schools, they do use an outside photographer that will go around to just went to one game and just got a couple
I know
pictures.
that iSmile works for a couple of other districts for their yearbooks.
So we're going to look into see how much it would cost, and then we'll go from there.
And you always have this fine lady to my left with Booster Club. She's got a network of parents who take a ton of pictures.
Yeah. We've expanded. I've tried emailing people and stuff like that in the past, but I'll get a few trickled in, but not a lot.
To mention Tony's at 99% of the games that she can just give her a camera.
Any other questions?
This is not a question, but I just wanted to congratulate Paige in person for your naming of being valedictorian for your graduating class. So congratulations,
Well, I have my salutatorian right here, so.
Yes. Woohoo! We've got them all in the room at the same time. Yeah, we congratulated Declan last week because he was here, but you weren't. So
thank
well
you.
done, you. All right, thank you, ladies, for coming in again. All right, next up we have National Honor Society, and we have Mrs. Della Rocco as our advisor.
You're on the clock.
He's done.
Okay, I can start. Hey everyone, so my name is Jennifer, and I'm also part of National Honor Society, and Harley and Paige are also part of Honor Society, and Declan, and Mr. LaRocco's our advisor. So basically, I think a lot of us, probably most of us, know what National Honor Society is. It's not something specific to Duanesburg, but we we meet every Thursday. Not every Thursday. We meet on Thursdays, determined by Mr. LaRocco, and we meet in the morning before academic period. And you have to be inducted. I'm not really sure how the review process works, but I send in my application, and then you get a note to see if you're in or not. And then you can do that. Like, I got inducted when I was a sophomore, but then, you don't start being on the actual club until you're a junior. But then, obviously, you can try again if you didn't, get into NHS. You can try again next year.
Oh, so we do 5 events each year, and our first event was the blood drive. We've done it for a few years now. We just help set up, take down. You don't want any of us drawing someone's blood. So the Red Cross comes and we check in donors. We work like the little snack station. We like set up posters for it. We advertise for it in the community and at the high school. Um, we had 23 donors scheduled and 25 donors registered, and 7 of these donors were first time donors, and we had 10 walk ins. So we surpassed our goal of 23 units. I believe it's 1 unit per person. Is it? Yeah, so 1 unit per person. So that was really good. And like, we're a small community, so like any little bit I think that we can, provide and help is really like, it's just a great testament to the character of the community. So. Oh, Tuesday before Thanksgiving is when we did it. So, a little fun thing before the holidays. You donate some blood and then you eat some turkey. Like, it's. Oh, and we're doing it again.
It was really well organized, having done a couple blood drives.
Oh, yeah. It's like so cool. Like, I worked the table twice and it was like you scan something and then like you're in and like even your ID you just scan. I thought it was really cool and like really easy. I mean, don't get me wrong, the first few times I did it, took me a bit to get it, but after I did it, it went smoothly. It's cool. The Red Cross does a really good job helping us out. So, Jacqueline. Oh, here's some pictures. So, this is Molly Lodato. This is Ari. Here's our little like laminated posters, and then here's our table. This was this is the system I was talking about, like setting up and like scanning and stuff. So, and then you get a little name tag.
Okay, so our second event that we did this year was an adopt a family around the holidays. So NHS, National Honor Society, worked with the junior, senior high school faculty and staff, and we were able to collect over 50 gifts and $300 to help provide families in the Dwaynesburg community with gifts and things they needed for around the holiday season. So that was great. That was a really well participated event. I think pretty much everybody, all the staff, huge thank you to you guys. Thank you so much. We were able to get a lot of donations, so that was great.
All right, so we did candygrams for the pet shelter as our third event. We were trying to do 5, and we're gonna do 5. So we sold and delivered candygrams to the students and staff of the junior, senior high school. Basically, they just placed an order. We set it up, and we gave them to them. We got $220, and we wanted to donate to the Schoharie Pet Shelter in honor of Lisa Caparizzo from the News Channel 10 Pet Connection to honor her. Oh, the recycling. Who wants to talk?
Yes, indeed. This is my domain because I volunteered to put my name down for the grant. So basically, together we brainstorm ideas on how we can implement recycling back into Dwaynesburg High School. And we determined the basics of mainstream recycling returnables are the only ways you have the means to maintain. So basically what we did is we came together and like the National Honor like Association thing, like they were giving out grants. And we applied for it and we won, so that was really exciting. And with using the money that we won, we're implementing recycling through these bins. So we use that money to get these bins. So yeah, we're making sure every classroom has a blue recycling bin again, and making sure they're clearly labeled with what can go into it for correct recycling. We're really trying to emphasize that. But I don't know if okay, so we had some members go to faculty meeting to educate the staff, and we also presented it to every English class so everyone understands, so the faculty is informed and students are informed. I personally did mine with Stella. We did one for the 6th graders, and it was really fun. Like, we presented, and we also included little games. We had them try to shoot a plastic bottle from their seat into a recycling bin, and they got candy if they did, so they were really excited about that. And they also got candy if they won our blanket, so that was really fun for them. So yeah, that's our recycling grant.
this is number 5, not 4. But so we haven't done our 5th service project yet, but recently with fire drills are essential and part of keeping everyone in the building safe. We got a new system, and it's really funny because he like talks to you, like he has a funny voice, so that's entertaining. We noticed that the classroom numbers on the pavement, like at the bottom parking lot when you go out, you can't, they're faded and no one knows where to go. So we're gonna paint all those numbers in the upper and lower parking lots by the end of the year. So yeah, that should be exciting. I hope in the sun I get a tan, but we'll see. Any questions? I don't think we have.
So you guys have come up with a lot of really like very different things. How do you come up with what you decide you're going to do?
A lot of meetings, a lot of votes. So like the blood drive and the adoptive family are very like, it's kind of a tradition. Like we normally have those planned, and it's nice and easy because they're at the start of the year. They're like not 100% planned, but they're mainly planned, and that really gives us time to focus on our other 3 service projects that we want to do. And typically we all like just shout out like ideas or put them into our Google chat, and then like the ones that are most prominent or like the ones that we are most likely to come about or like actually do, we vote on, and like we all just decide like together. So, and then we also get to decide what organization, like if we were like the Candygrams, we had like the ability to just decide like what place we wanted to donate to. And so that was fun. So we all vote. We're democratic, so. Anyone else?
Thank you for giving back to your community.
Oh, no problem. Anytime.
Yes, and thank you guys for always listening to my presentations. I think this is my last one, because yeah. So thank you guys. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, thank you to all of you seniors, and congratulations. And you're in the home stretch, right?
Yeah.
All right.
One more.
Very good. Last but certainly not least, we have a report from our outing club on their trip to Brazil. And we have Mrs. Hoffman as the outing club advisor. And I also see former art teacher, Mr. DeTondo. Welcome back.
I'll be your van.
I can start first? Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Wait for Laura and Ryan.
Oh, we have to wait for what? Yes. My name is Kevin Atondo, and I am the former art teacher here at the district, and I was with us for 28 years. And I just have to say that I love our district, and I'm glad that everybody's still doing a good job. Viva Brazil is here now. I just want to say that this trip has been a blast. We had a fantastic time with our kids. It was an opportunity for them to really experience Brazil and Portuguese lifestyle. As far as the kids go, they were fantastic. Every day was just the best adventure for them. We experienced the culture, the food, and just had great laughs with all of them. Obviously, we know these folks here that are up here, hopefully. They're going to introduce themselves again, I'm sure. And I just want to say thank you so much for the district for allowing this. This was actually our 5th trip overseas over the years, and it was a blast. So thank you.
You want to talk?
Oh, so we had to fly out of JFK, and what was it? TSA was not bad at all. It wasn't bad, and we were all very stressing about it because the week before it was 4 hours waiting. So we got down there with a lot of time to spare, but yeah, we had to fly out of JFK, and then we got a direct flight to Sao Paulo, and that's where we started our Brazil journey. Oh, so our first day. Okay, Harley. Okay. First day was just arrival, and we thugged it out. You slept on the plane, and we got up and we moved. We were doing stuff. So we dropped our stuff off at the hotel, and then we just visited the architecture and just tour of the city of Sao Paulo. We were only there for one day. And then, oh yeah. Oh, this is the food. Oh my God, this was amazing. I had so much fun. Yeah, we tried all the different fruits, and they would just like give it to you, like like in your face, like cutting it in front of you and then serving it to you. And it was like they just wanted you to like try all of them, so they tried to like get you to buy all of it. But like it was so good, and then like, have all the different nuts, and that's the church that we went in front of. Yeah, we got to inside the church, and it was beautiful. Carly, your turn.
So the second day, we took a bus ride and we visited the lavender fields of Sao Paulo. It was really pretty. These are some pictures. So that's like the little shop at the top of like the lavender fields. They have a lot of fresh, like natural products, all made with the lavender right from the fields. There were some great lookout spots. A lot of pretty pictures were taken there. I know all the girls, we all wore our dresses or our nice outfits and took a lot of pictures. So that was really fun.
Ryan, do you want to go? No.
So, like on the way to Parate, is that how you
Yep.
say? We stopped at the lavender fields, and this is obviously the second day. And well, the Portuguese are the one who colonized Brazil, so that's why the architecture looks so similar. And it was so beautiful. Like I know me and Harley went on the Europe trip, and it felt very similar, the architecture. So it was really beautiful. That's like the canal, like river, like right there in Parate. So it's really nice. Oh, that was the day I was.
Day 3, we did like a mild hike and went through the forest, and we visited 3 beaches, which are the Trinidad beaches, which are some of the most beautiful beaches I've ever seen. So this is right at the start. I didn't have any pictures of the trail. We were hiking up pretty steep stuff. Paige and Mr. Detondo, due to illness, got to take a nice little boat ride to the final beach. But we went from one beach, traveled for like 20 minutes through the woods, the jungle, and then went to a second beach, hung out for like a half hour to an hour, another trip through the jungle, final destination. Ryan and his mom made the trek back through the jungle, and a lot of us opted to take the boat back. I was like, yeah, no. Our 4th day.
So the fourth day was kind of like a travel day, a lot of bus, boat, and so this was really cool because we stayed on the island of Rio Grande, which was probably my favorite part of the whole trip. It was very tropical, very like serene. So it was really cool. So we took our bus, got on the boat, traveled all the way across the ocean to the island, and then we had a really nice dinner looking out over the ocean. This was like on a rooftop, and there was a lot of cute little like dress shops, a lot of like local made clothes, jewelry, anything. And it was really cool because there was no like private transportation on the island, so there was a lot of walking, barely any cars here or there, so that was really nice. It was very like quiet, and you could really take in like daily life there.
Oh, Guaraná. That's. Oh, I like got this at every restaurant. It's like their like soda. It's like their Coke. It was really good. I think I can get it at Walmart, so I plan on going there. So yeah, this was our beach day. What was this like our
This is the one where we took the boat.
took the boat?
And then,
Oh, we did more hiking, and then
we
yeah,
went a little bit of hiking, the long walk.
yeah.
And Ryan took these epic pictures of the monkey.
Yeah, these are monkeys. I don't know if Ryan wants to talk about those, but that little monkey is actually exotic. It's not native to Brazil, so they like came over here on like ships and stuff. Do you want to talk about? Okay.
Ryan took some really amazing pictures, and most of the wildlife, and then he pointed out spiders the entire time we were on the trail. Like, oh, look at that hive of spiders. It's like it was very scary. And then this is a picture of our long walk through the jungle, and then I mapped it out to show like how it wasn't too bad. It was just a long walk, and then we had a short, steep hike up, and then again another one of Ryan's native wildlife pictures. Very cool. And all of a sudden you got through the jungle and you were at this epic beach. Mrs. Ayers and I said she'd been to Hawaii, and I've been to Australia, and it's one of the best beaches I've seen, and she agreed the same. You just look from one side to the other, and it's mountains, water, mountains, and then jungle behind you. And that was the coolest thing about Brazil was all the beaches are pretty much private because you have to hike to get to these beaches. really nice. And the sand, yeah.
Squeaky sand.
Squeaky sand, like your shoes are, like when they're squeaky in the hallway, that your feet would squeak on the sand, which was very interesting. And then I think you guys took the turtle picture. Yeah, Ryan got all the best, like, animal photos of any of us, for sure.
Ryan, I think your book might have a job for you next year.
Yeah. The food was, I would say, gourmet the entire trip. Steak every night, chicken or your vegetarian dishes. But I don't think any of the kids complained other than like, do we have to have beef again? But that's a staple for Brazil, so it's really cool. And then this is on our way leaving the island. Did you want to talk about Laura? Day 6?
Day 6, we went to Rio de Janeiro. I'm Laura, I'm Ryan's mom, and I had this amazing opportunity to be a chaperone with this group. And some of the things, I mean, we're seeing like the highlights and the wonderful things, but some of the other things that we experienced were, just the transportation. We went by lots of different modes of transportation. We had to deal with a different culture, a different language, different money. All of these things, were very immersive with the whole trip. So we did have a tour guide, but we also were like had to deal with a whole foreign country, and that was to me really a great learning experience, because I'd never been out of the country besides local, like to go on a cruise, but I had not really been in any kind of international travel situation before. So when we went to Rio de Janeiro, we did a little bit of touring around the city itself. We saw some of the hallmarks. I think that's the music hall, the opera house. We saw the churches. It's a very Catholic country, so it was a lot of Catholic imagery and culture there for that, as well as there were these mosaic sidewalks in Rio de Janeiro everywhere. And they're beautiful. They go from waves to not. That is Copacabana Beach, which you'll all know the song Copacabana. Has nothing to do with this beach, but this is the like ritzy area of Rio de Janeiro. It's sort of like Manhattan. It's very upscale, very nice. And we went to a really fancy restaurant that had amazing desserts, but we didn't get to have. And the beach there is Copacabana Beach. Miss Bliss is on Copacabana Beach, and then from our hotel, from the rooftop, we could see the Christ the Redeemer statue on the far mountain there, and then we got the kids got to play soccer on the beach, and then they are in the southern hemisphere, of course, so their daylight savings is starting, and so it was dark at 6:30 when we went up to Sugarloaf. I mean, not daylight savings, but their days are getting shorter. It was 6:30 when we went up to Sugarloaf, and Sugarloaf, you go up by gondola, so it was really a neat experience to go through the gondola, 2 stages of gondolas up to the top of this peak, all these little peaks you see around it, and we got to look around and see all of the lights come up in Rio. The kids took a samba class. I could stand here and talk to you all night about this. I don't know if someone else wants to talk about the samba class.
The class was really interesting. This picture on the bottom where the girls are smiling and in lines, we wanted to show them that even though we weren't necessarily great at the Brazilian style dance, that we did know the Cotton Eye Joe. So, so we showcased that for them, and the kids had. So we ended the dance class on a high note. But I think overall, everyone in the original picture with the dance instructor, they're all smiling and having a really good time and laughing, and it really was quite a fun time. Oh, and then we left sadly and went to Miami and then to JFK. Ryan, would you go again? Not to Brazil, but somewhere else on another trip? With or without your mom?
Mrs. Hoffman, how many students, like the pictures vary so what was the total number of students and adults that were on this trip?
So we had 4 parents, 4 moms, and then we had 15 students, and then Miss Bliss, Mr. Gitondo, and myself as chaperones as well. So it was a nice range we had 21 in total in our group. That was our magic number that we had to count. And then we merged in some of the pictures, you could see other people. We merged with two other much smaller groups on the tour, so that made our size less than 40 people. But still, according to our tour guide, it was one of her larger groups that she's ever had before. So that was interesting having her navigate our large size group for this trip. But the planning is definitely done by the advisor in advance. And so shout out to Mr. Dotondo for really planning an epic adventure and kind of seeing firsthand how you sometimes have to on the fly make decisions immediately for 40 people when things aren't necessarily working out because things just happen. So like one day we had to wait around about an hour, which really wasn't bad for our bus. The bus came in from Rio and then he stopped to eat breakfast and the bus did not turn back on. And we had loaded all the luggage on and then the boys all helped to load the luggage off and then we waited for the new bus. And so, we sat around the pool at our previous hotel. It wasn't terrible at all. It was better than being on the road.
I know it sounds like we had this wonderful vacation, and we certainly did, but there was a lot of opportunities for learning, and the kids paid their own ways. So it's not like, this came out of any kind of, I know we're talking about the budget today, it did come out of the budget. This was something that the kids paid for, and they could fundraise to get the funds to go as well. And comparatively with vacation planning, it was a pretty cheap trip, compared to like privately buying trip. So it was great to go with the group.
Did anyone learn Portuguese for the trip?
I started doing Duolingo and I learned one word and I'm like, why are they focusing on this one word? It's a pineapple. I'm like, I need to know bathroom, not pineapple. Like, why is it teaching me pineapple? So we got to a restaurant and they serve these amazing fruit juices to us, fresh squeezed right there, and they'll give them to you. And they're like, oh, you can get pineapple or watermelon or strawberry. And I was like, I'm getting pineapple so I can say my word. And I said, abacashish, and I got my word. I got to use my one word.
So maybe you know this one, obrigado?
Obrigado, yes. So the interesting thing about Portuguese is that depending on who is speaking, it changes the
Masculine, feminine.
So a woman would say abrigada, but a man would say abrigado. It's kind of interesting how that's different than in English.
Fachim obrigado.
So I tried, but I only learned one word.
And the goal would obviously to be to keep pursuing on with Miss Bliss if she wants to travel as a group and try to continue this long-standing tradition. I believe Kevin and Karen have done 5 trips together over 10 years. So
was it high school, 9 through 12?
Yep. 9 through 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it was a good group of kids, and it wasn't. I would do it again. It wasn't bad. Because I was nervous about overnight and a week, foreign country, all the things, and we did have kids that were sick and drama and all the things, but at the end of the day, it was still like a great experience, wonderful kids, and we should definitely keep doing it.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you all for being here to tell us about it and for these beautiful pictures. Again, Ryan, yes, your book is calling your name. It's amazing. So I'll be on the lookout for planning for another. Has it been maybe every couple of years, Mr. Dotondo? Is that how?
Yeah, usually they go every couple of years. They try to offset the DC trip as well.
Right.
So however that rotates in the rotation, that's what we try to keep up with.
All right. Very good.
So thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah, great. Thanks, guys.
Good job. Good job.
Okay. We're skipping over the student board members report because they are not here, and we're going to move to our superintendent's report. That's you.
Oh, usually, yeah, I know we mixed it. All right, so I don't have a lot. I just want to remind folks that Meet the Candidate Night is next Tuesday, 5/12 at 6:30 here at Joe Benna. Also, this Thursday is our community forum our next community forum we're hosting here at Joe Benna at 6:30. It's to update our communities and our families on the student culture audit and all other action items that have been put in place. This will also include the independent auditor from BOCES coming in to share her findings and her recommendations. You're going to see on the agenda, I just wanted to provide some clarity about the couple MOAs that are on there. So Mr. Rivenberg attends Fulmont Trust meetings. So Fulmont Trust is the consortium for our health insurance. And it was a week or two ago you found out, right? When they let you know? A couple weeks ago. So Fulmont Trust is, for those who don't know the process, we have a third-party administrator through Fulmont Trust that kind of tries to find the best rates for health insurance. And the districts that are all in it received notice a few weeks ago that there's going to be an audit. And the audit is looking at certain things, making sure that proper practices are in place. So a few years ago, the conversation came up to the board about, do we allow domestic partnership? And so I had asked the board. Mr. Rivenberg said that Anthem, which is our health insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield, does offer it, but there has to be attestations, and we researched what that would look like and searched some districts that do offer it, in affidavits to demonstrate true partnership. Most of the units, or all the units in the district, have language in health insurance that says individual +1. So we thought we were covered, but with this news of being audited, that they said the +1 isn't explicit language, so that we needed to do MOAs to extend to all employees. So we had asked for MOAs with each of the different units. This all came about Friday afternoon, and so bylaws are different in each unit. Some have to take a vote first. Some sign and then take a vote, so that's why we had to strike a couple, but just wanted to kind of give the background of why it may seem like this was last minute. It was because it was last minute, and so just trying to make sure that we're compliant with the rules through Blue Cross Blue Shield. And so all districts, again, in the consortium are going through the same process. And other than that, that's it. You guys have heard me every week.
Anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Oh, Sarah has a
Question.
Sorry.
I just caught this looking at the different memorandums. One of them, we're making retroactive back to 2022.
That's just the date of their contracts. So when any MOA is written, it references the dates of the contract. So that one was, which one are you looking at?
Right. This health and dental.
Which contract?
I'm not sure. It just says TA. It says TA, health and dental. Uh-huh.
DAA, is that the one? Oh, DTA. Oh, so what happened with DTA is, if you remember when I first got here, they started negotiations. We did an MOA to extend it because there wasn't enough time to finish it. So we did an extension, and then it's just referencing the duration of the contract.
I just wonder, like, is this going to be a problem for people that may have wanted it 4 years ago and didn't get it? You know, because that's a big disparity of time.
Well, again, it's
just seems
referencing.
concerning.
Yeah, it's referencing the duration of the contract, but as you know, contract negotiations, things evolve, right? So as you know, units negotiate, things come, things go, and so that we're in the process. We're actually negotiating with DTA their ECAs, their extracurricular. We're doing that. We're also in the process with DESA, so that's our trans and buildings and grounds. Again, they had an MOA, so there is. You know, contract negotiations are fluid. You know, that's why they call it negotiations. Sometimes things come, sometimes things go, and MOAs happen frequently as things arise.
But is this going to open us to some financial exposure going back that far?
No, it can't be retro per se. Like, you can't go back and pay for it. It's already done. Like,
then why are we doing this?
Because it's referencing the duration of the contract. It's not referencing. Go ahead.
Can I just say so what this is doing is saying we are entering into this a memorandum of agreement with referencing this contract, but you can't cover someone 4 years ago for services rendered 4 years ago.
No, I know. Right. I'm just saying, if we're making it that we would have allowed it 4 years ago, won't that be upsetting for some people? I just see this through a lens that could not be
I
favorable.
could be wrong, and maybe Jeff, you can help as well. But I think what we're the dates that we have in these memorandums are based on the contract dates. And so it isn't really retroactive. It's simply referencing that contract and the dates of that contract. And then when that contract, excuse me, is renegotiated, it presumably would be part of the contract and not require an MOA.
So why wouldn't we just do it the contracts going forward?
Because of the audit that we were just made aware of. We thought we were covered with the current language where it says individual +1, and they said, no, it has to be more specific.
Oh, so we had an error, and now
we're correcting it, yeah. So, the board has approved and numerous MOAs through the years with each of the units. And again, it's referencing it, but it's not making it retroactive. So as things have come up through the years, each unit has a stack of MOAs, and then when the year comes up to renegotiate, those MOAs are embedded into the new contract.
So the signature date on this is 5/1/2026, and then it goes to June of 2026, it looks like.
Which one?
June 30th, the same one, DTA MOA. So we're not, I understand that the contract itself is effective July 1st, 2022 through June 30th, 2026, but isn't it realistically just being covered 5/1/2026 to June 30th, 2026?
I guess I'm not sure what the question is.
Yeah.
I'm following with you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the date of the MOA is the date it's signed.
It's of the signed contract.
It'd be the same thing. We've issued MOAs before to add Robotics Club.
Right.
Because it's the exact same contract we
Right.
modified.
Okay.
Robotics Club we didn't make exist in the past.
Right.
It just means moving forward, we're paying Mr. Grothier to run the club.
So the policy, not the policy, right, I'm following. All right, so effectively it's 5/1/2026 to June 30th, 2026.
So that's a great catch, Ray. So what we'll have to do, so if you're looking at DTA right now, it should be for the length of their contract. So what we'll do is, for now, because we have the audit coming up, we can I'll work with Shannon and Spencer to make sure that there's a corrective MOA moving forward. So thank you for picking up on that. I didn't notice that.
Right.
I didn't notice that. You're right.
Yeah.
So their contract is 2 more years on their contract, should say till 2028. So good catch.
I have a question also. Does it cost the district any money?
Yeah, I mean, insurance is insurance, right? When we offered it initially, there was probably 3 or 4 people who picked up affidavits, but then not many people capitalize on it right now. So very similar to a benefit, like having any employee. It used to be just one unit could have their children attend. And I think it was a year or so ago, maybe a year and a half, where the board approved, they resolved that any employee can have their children attend the district. So again, it's just part of the negotiation process.
And is there a way to determine, like, I mean, insurance is hard to get for some people. So a domestic partner, is there a length of time, or
right.
Is there?
So there is, the insurance company gave us some samples, and Jeff reached out to some school districts who offer it. And it's, you have to provide documentation, right? It can't be, well, they're my domestic partner for this week or next week or whatever. So they have to demonstrate like joint bank accounts, joint mortgages, things like that. And Jeff and I were talking about this a little bit further, and he's going to get clarification that the insurance companies are cracking down on fraud. And so moving forward, we may be where we have to, provide proof that he's actually married to Margaret Rivenberg, right? So there's, that's the path that they're going down. You had to provide proof that you were married, yeah. It sounds like that might be a thing. We're not 100% sure, but we know there is insurance fraud out there. They're just trying to do their job.
Any other questions before? Am I on? Yeah. Any other questions on superintendent's report? Okay. All right. Next up, we have public comments. And of course, the board encourages public participation at board meetings during our specific portion, privilege of the floor public comment. Just a reminder that public comment section is an opportunity for residents only to address the Board of Education. Recognize that we ask that you note your desire to speak when you sign in. So I have a couple of people that have noted their desire to speak this evening. We ask everyone to remember that we cannot permit in public session discussions involving individual personnel or students. Anyone wishing to discuss matters that involve individual personnel or students should present those comments or concerns to the superintendent. And we ask that everyone maintain respect and courteousness as they address the board. And it's not in my spiel here, but I'll also just remind everyone that the board is here to listen, but we're not able to respond or speak or answer questions. So, okay. With that all being said, I have two people that are listed on our sign-in sheet. So Dana Misek. Oh, you covered your question. Oh, great. Okay. Absolutely. All right. Thank you. All right. Then next I have Christine Lukides. Christina.
I see the paddles. Hello, everybody. I'm here about the Dwaynesburg Hall of Fame. I will ask to do a more formal presentation at the June meeting, and it will be nowhere near as entertaining or as impressive as these young people are when they come up here to speak. I'm speechless about that. But tonight, I just want to let people know to be on the lookout for nominating information about the Hall of Fame. It's on the website, Parent Square, and in the newsletter. The Hall of Fame is a way to acknowledge and celebrate the accomplishments of our alumni and the contributions of the, excuse me, I'm a little cold, contributions of the teachers and staff who guide our students. I'd also like to paraphrase some things I've said in the past about our school. Back in 2023, I mentioned that only 60 plus years had passed since the first Wright brothers' flight to an astronaut actually standing on the moon, a remarkable testament to American ingenuity. It is also a testament to our American public school system for providing educational opportunities to our nation's children, or our future. What does this have to do with the Dwaynesburg Hall of Fame right now? There are funding decisions to make, which is never a comfortable topic. We all have our thoughts, our opinions, our questions, and we all feel pinched. Funding decisions are made based on increasing current costs, all of the mandated expenses, limited state and federal funding, and regular auditing oversight to account for money collected and spent. It's the price of doing business. And the business of our school is to provide educational opportunities to best prepare our students for the competitive world of continuing education in the workforce. We want to retain and hire the best possible teachers and staff to teach and encourage our students. We want to give our students the academics, arts, sports, and clubs here in Dwaynesburg and the work-based learning of CTE BOCES that will graduate well-prepared students ready for creating their own remarkable achievements and their own Hall of Fame aspirations. Thoughtful funding, planning is the way to accomplish that. Denying and defunding the school is not. I will end by saying that we have a lot to celebrate here in our small school. We see that in the student presentations here at board meetings, in classrooms, the stages, and athletics. There is such an array of positive experiences and growth available for students, all being led by our teachers and staff on the front lines of classes, fields, cafeteria, and buses. The foundation for our future Hall of Famers is created here every day in our school. Thank you, and happy Teacher Appreciation Week.
Thank you. You can't comment.
I'm not going to comment, but I am going to tell people that nominations are open, because that's one of the jobs I have. And I also like to thank Christine for all her hard work on the Hall of Fame.
Is there anyone else that had wished to speak but didn't sign in? Okay, and we'll move to our items of business, beginning with our financial items. So, be it resolved, based upon the recommendation of the superintendent, that the Board of Education approves financial items 8.01 through 8.04. May I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you, Francis. A second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Sarah. Comments or questions? I'll just note that we struck the other two, so we're only doing 1 through 4. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, next item, items are non-instructional personnel. Be it resolved, based upon the recommendation of the superintendent, that I'm going to do these separately, that the Board of Education, the first one is accept resignation for retirement. Be it resolved, based on the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education accepts the resignation for retirement of Joanne Boyd, clerical aide, effective June 30th, 2026. May I have a motion? Thank you, Tony. A second? Thank you, Alyssa. Comments or questions? Yes, go ahead, Tony.
Joanne will be sorely missed. She takes her job very seriously, and her candor in that room is just.
She's very frank.
I will always enjoy seeing her. I always have, and I've known her for years. So I hope she enjoys retirement and her daughter's wedding, and she and Stephen cannot kill each other. That's
Yeah, seeing Joanne every time I had to go in to do something for my kids, it was always awesome there in the office. She was certainly someone that was great to interact with. It was a lot of fun. I wish her the best.
I will echo that as well. We will miss you, Mrs. Boyd. We wish you all the best in your retirement. We still have 7 weeks with her, so we'll make the most of those 7 weeks. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, next non-instructional personnel item. Be it resolved, based upon the recommendation of the superintendent, that the Board of Education approves the non-instructional positions as listed. May I have a motion? Thank you, Tony. A second? Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. Comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Next item is Pupil Services, CSE and CPSE minutes. Be it resolved, based upon the recommendation of the superintendent, that the Board of Education hereby approves the CSE and CPSE minutes from the meetings held on March 10th, April 16th, 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 27th, and 28th, 2026. May I have a motion? Thank you, Alyssa. A second? Oh. Thank you, Ray. Comments or questions?
Always astounding.
Yes. We've had 3 meetings in a row, 3 weeks in a row, and there's still a very lengthy list of meetings, so it's a lot of work. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. And then that is all we have for business. A couple of informational items for everyone. We will be hosting another community forum to give, as Ms. Ross pointed out during her report, an update on the Discipline and Culture Audit. The forum is scheduled for this Thursday, May 7th at 6:30 right here in Joe Benna. Actually, it might be in the back part of Joe Benna. The forum will provide an opportunity for community members to engage in discussion, ask questions, and share feedback regarding this audit. And again, I'll just note that the independent auditor will also be present for that, so she can answer questions and provide her findings. And then the board will be hosting a community forum to give an update on the code of conduct. We haven't picked a date for that yet, but it will be sometime in June. It will take place right here. And this forum will provide, again, an opportunity for community members and stakeholders to engage in discussion, ask questions, and share feedback regarding the code of conduct. Now that we've had our initial 2 forums, we're taking that information, the policy committee is taking that information and making some changes, and then we will come back to the community with a new draft. So notice will be provided as soon as that date is set. And I think that's all we have. Do we have it? I don't believe we have reason for an executive session. Okay. So with that, I will ask for a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting at 8:36 p.m. May I have a motion? Thank you, Francis. A second? Thank you, Michael. Comments or questions? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Thank you, everyone, for coming.
Thank you all.